Let's check out and listen to Larnell Lewis together, see what his drumming superpowers are. We're gonna start with one of these Zildjian live videos. We got the drum cam, and they are playing Change Your Mind. So, longtime drummer for Snarky Puppy, as well as like a zillion other artists. Just an incredible talent.
Welcome to Zildjian Live. Ladies and gentlemen, Larnell Lewis.
Bass. Yeah. Lay in that pocket in there, man. I love it. Oh, sticks down, sticks down. Look at it, just in it right there. So articulate. Okay. See my buddy Mark Wessels in the background there. He was with Zildjian for a long time. Okay, shut up. All right, hold on. Wait, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna talk, and I wasn't gonna stop it, but you all know we're gonna have to go back for that. The foot. Shut up. Okay, all right, now we're gonna slow it down, and we're gonna, I tried. We almost made it through. I'm really sorry, but we couldn't. All right, so let's slow this down, and let's look at his foot. Okay, all right. Looks like a little bit of heel toe or constant release. A little side to side motion there. Let's do it one more time. Yep. Whew, come on. We had to stop. Okay, we're going back to the song now. All right, proceed. I didn't stop. Just locked in with that bass player. Yeah. Little tambo. Oh. Shut up. Yeah. Give him the business. He's just fooling. He's just fooling. I told you he was fooling. Nice. Let's look back for the band cue. Let's look back for when he cues the band. These are the things I look at. How did he cue the band? Let's look for that because he cued them. Let's see there. Watch his head. Watch his eyes. Nod his head. Here they are. Yep. See that? He not big eyes. He nodded to let them know it's coming, and then big eyes, and they knew when he hit that crash that was it. Anyway, that's interesting as a working drummer, like how they do that, how they come back into that. Okay, there's so much we can unpack from there, and it's like you can get bogged down into what was the specific licks. There's a ton of singles in there, by the way. But again, big picture, what are some of the superpowers that he uses? A lot of people are attracted to the very complex side of it. I am too. Look, we're drummers. It's amazing. He's got amazing chops. But the thing that they miss about Larnell is his incredibly deep pocket. I don't know how you could miss it. But specifically, a lot of people talk about gospel drumming, gospel drummers, and a lot of them may talk about that, and maybe they don't know the entire history of that. I'm not saying that I do know the entire history of that, but I'm saying I'm somewhat knowledgeable in that area, and I've looked at it. My dad was a pastor. Some of you may not know that, and he spoke in a lot of inner city black churches my entire growing up. So I was able to sit and just watch these cats play and see the culture behind what they play. So specifically, let's look at what applies, and a lot of people would miss it with gospel drumming, but I need you to understand this is an old school, basic, what they would do in gospel drumming. Right here. Just that drive and groove, just in your face. Just, I mean, you can't help but move, right? It was, who was it? Calvin Rogers, who I know that Larnell has said in the past is a huge influence of his. I watched him do a clinic at PASIC, Percussive Art Society's International Convention. I think it was in 2018. And he said, a lot of people, I'm known for these incredible, licks and things that I do. He didn't say incredible. He said, I'm known for these things that he said, but a lot of people miss the underlying essence and the underlying foundation of what I do. And he said, if you want to know what gospel drumming, here it is. And he played that exact groove. And he just played it. He played one whole song, and it was just that. It was like 3 minutes of him just laying down that pocket in your face, right? And that's what he was trying to get across, was like a lot of people try to tackle this other stuff, the very complex stuff that you see Larnell do. They try to tackle it, and they don't have the basics. They don't have the foundation now. And that is that insanely deep pocket that you can hear across Larnell's playing no matter what he's doing, if it's a very complex lick, if it's a very complex groove. I don't know. Look, I'm giving this is one man's opinion. What's your opinion? What are some things that you notice about Larnell's playing? Put it in the video description. I want to hear it. Anyway, I want to drive that home about Larnell, is his incredible attention to groove. It is like, if it was a #1 superpower for Larnell, like that's it. Another thing is drawing in a lot of his older influences from what I've read and from what I've watched in interviews with him. Big jazz background, so a lot of influence from cats like Elvin Jones and Philly Joe and Jeff Tane Watts. Elvin Jones, of course, one of my favorites. Dennis Chambers is one of them that he cites more in the funk genre. But he throws back to them by really being aware of dynamically what is going on. So coming down and up, and very sensitive to that. And then his structure with how he phrases things. His phrasing is very melodic in terms of how he does that. Let's talk about sound, though. His sound is you may have noticed, it's very articulate. It's very precise. His cymbals, look at that. They're like got holes in them. How do you get a cymbal to not speak as much? You put holes in it, right? And it reduces the overall volume of the cymbal, which is going to reduce the literal volume, not just the weight, but the volume of that cymbal. And then a ton of dry cymbals up there. Hi-hats are very dry. He's got some stacks up there. So very dry, articulate sounds. And then he's got some that ring out. He's got that ride cymbal that rings out a good bit. His toms, boom, he hits those. They're very articulate and attack driven, but they give you a lot of tone from them. Throughout this piece, you see him utilizing short, long stabs. He's very specific with where he wants a long tone versus where he wants a short tone. You saw, even in one of those solos, he even played the wing nuts of his cymbal stands. Very big attention to phrasing and voicing whenever it comes to his playing. Okay, let's look at the place I had to stop it was his use of an advanced concept at a high level in a very musical way, and you'll see this across Larnell's playing. In other words, he doesn't learn a one-handed roll just because he can do a one-handed roll and then walk into Guitar Center and be like, and start, giving somebody the death stare while they're like, you see what I'm doing here with my right hand, which is how a lot of people use the one-handed roll. Another person that I saw do this it was again at PASIC another year, and then I went and saw him at Little 5 Points with Casey Cooper, and I went out one night. Whoa, there's a name. Drop that name. Sorry, no. Casey Cooper's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine. And we went out one night to see him at Little 5 Points. It was band the CD Club. Jojo Mayer used very high-level techniques in very short bursts for musical for interpretation of the music. Give you an instance of that. There was one specifically, just like Larnell used, where it was multiple 8, 10, 12 hits on the bass drum, very quick, but he did it with one single bass, and they did a close-up, I think this was on the PASIC show, did a close-up of his foot, just like they did right there. And it was so quick that it happened. And it was used for effect. It wasn't used for like 30 seconds, see what he can do. It was you would have missed it if you didn't know it was coming. The other thing he did was a one-handed roll. He used it for 3 beats, maybe 4 beats, to crescendo into another part, and he did it with one hand. Larnell does the same thing. He uses these very high level, and you can look at Jojo Mayer's got some great DVDs out there, Secret Weapons of the Modern Drummer. I think that's what they're called. There's something with like secrets, and weapons. I think he's attacking something. Anyway, the secret weapons of something, I think. And great hand technique, great foot technique. What he does with that stuff and what Larnell does with this stuff, and you can see it in some of the other stuff that we'll watch, is they take this highbrow technical stuff and they plug it into the music. How can we use that in the music? Because it doesn't matter what you can play if you can't use it musically, right? And so anyway, okay, let's go listen to something else. I want to listen to some more. Now I'm kind of pumped. A drum solo at City Lights. Larnell Lewis in the moment. All right. 1.1 million views. All right, let's check this out. In case you can't tell, I love music. First and foremost, I'm a musician. Whenever I started my online drum school almost 14 years ago, that was one of the things I wanted to help drummers play music better. I wanted them to be musical players. If you're needing some help, if you're wanting to know how to apply some of these things that we talk about in this video specifically to your playing, I would love to help you with that. There's a link down in the video description where you can find out more information about it. And if it looks like a fit for you, I'd love to talk to you. I have weekly live calls. We have guest artists monthly, and I would love to have you be a part of that program. This is the In the Moment album release. Okay, let's see this. Double time for you. Okay, let's just. Floor top sounds killer. Yeah. Okay. Oh, now. Cue in the band. Yeah. Nice, beautiful. Let's look back at that one and see when he cued the band. Right there. I know I came back to that one in the last one. That as a working drummer, that's very, very interesting to me to see how someone does it, when they're doing it, that he knows exactly where he is in the piece. Great video of Elvin Jones talking about knowing the form of the song. You have to know the melody of the song. One of the big things I want to point out here is how he starts this solo, because he starts it down and not very Larnellish, if you will. Because again, I told you, everybody pays attention to the other stuff. Here's the thing. You couldn't see the black notes on the page if it weren't for the white space, right? It would be really hard to tell how great a good day was if you didn't have a really bad day sometimes. You don't know what really loud sounds like until you've heard really soft, right? You have to have something to be it with. So in this solo, he's using all those musical tools we talked about. He's using melodies, using phrasing, he's using storytellers, storytellers rules, repeating melodies, storytellers rule of 3, repeating melodies and coming back to it, using tones. But that's for like the first minute. He's not in any hurry to get to the other stuff. Now, what does he go to? He goes to some very Larnellish stuff that we love, right? As drummers, we love that stuff. But it's not near as powerful if you don't watch the first part of the solo. And so what I take away from this is, don't get in such a rush, right? If I got a solo, give it some space. Give the listener something to grab onto it. Play around with tones up front. Play around with space. Play around with some different tools. The only tools we think about are complexity and speed goes both ways. What about slow speed? Right? And you saw when he started kicking it up, what did he do? He played around with double time. When he started playing around with double time, you knew it was about, okay, you're giving the little kiddies a little candy. It's like that pre-Halloween candy. It's like, you got some from school, and before you go out, door to door, you're like, I gotta, prime the pump. You're hitting that chewy candy, get some Skittles in there or something, right? That's what he's doing. He's prepping you for like, here's what's coming, right? And so you can see it more from this very beginning part to him prepping for what's coming, and then we have the climax of what's going on in there. And that's what I want to draw your attention to, is his extreme musicality throughout it all, as well his attention to what's happening in the song, the structure of the song. He knows exactly where he is in the song. He knows exactly what's going on. And you saw some cool stuff in there. I think there's a blush that he used there in between the ride cymbal and the snare, which is one of the coolest ways to use flams, I think, is to use them in between the snare and the cymbal with the kick drum. So let's listen to some of this melodic phrase. Okay, doom, 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 boom, 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 boom. He's playing the same phrase over and over. It's a melody. It's Storyteller's rule of 3 right there. Come on, let's listen to it again. Theme and variations. Okay. He's so extremely clean. Okay, let's move on to this next one. Coconuts by Larnell Lewis. Nice. Pulling in that world rhythms vibe. Very reminiscent of Elvin Jones, Jeff Tain Watts style of interspersing those toms. little bell. Talk about the color of that drum set for a second. Pretty. Shut up. Shut up. Jeez. This guy. Little glitch-ish beats. Reminiscent of Dilla. Yeah, beautiful. Nice, and if I'm not mistaken, he did write that song too. Here we got a drummer writing a song that did not completely feature him just wailing on the drums. Again, throwing back to a bunch of his influences, world rhythms, the jazz, with all of the nuanced, tasteful playing, dynamics he's using. Very reminiscent of a Jeff Tain Watts or Elvin Jones, how they would incorporate the toms into their grooves. And then we have that, come on, that one-handed roll. Again, it is a drummer that wrote a song. He could have had a solo there. Instead, he goes, holds the stick. Like, I don't know. How are you holding it, Larnell? Like this? Is this how I get the magic? Right? Is this how I do it? Is this? And then he does a one-handed roll on a stick and flutters it. In case you've never, if you've never worked with microphones, if you have a tambourine or a shaker or something, if you float it past, you can automatically give yourself a crescendo, decrescendo, or a passing vibe. Rain stick, you might put that past there if you have a rain stick, or a one-handed roll between your forearm and the stick if you're a jerk like Larnell Lewis. I say that in the most respectful terms, right? He used it in a very musical way. He didn't feature it somewhere. He just simply, well, it was kind of, I mean, it was kind of, come on, it was kind of featured. You saw a little grin, come on, we knew it was coming. Be sure to check the video description. I've got some free downloadable programs for you there. They're just there for you to help your drumming, totally free. Let me know if you've ever got any questions about them. You can email me, help@stevensdrumshed.com. I'd love to talk to you.